Yes, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Comic Corner here on the HS Fandom Network, here on Facebook, YouTube, and the Bad Place. My name is Damon. I'm your host. What we do is comic book news, reviews, interviews, all that jazz. And today I am joined alongside my friend for the first time in a few weeks. Welcome back, AF.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been out of it, literally stuck in bed, couldn't move my
Mm,
body, but we are on the mend. We are working our way back, and excited to speak about some amazing comic books.
We are excited to talk about some great comics from the week. Welcome to everyone in chat. D13CJ, Bex, hello. All right, let's get into today's rundown, shall we? Let's ring the bell. Ring. Oh boy. DCKO is here. I've read it. AF's read it. We will give our thoughts on a potential bracket buster already. Fill out your brackets. Maybe double check them. Absolute Catwoman issue of Absolute Batman. We will chat about that. And a new title from Boom Studios is here. I will chat about that. But first, I'm going to try to not get too angry about this. I got most of my anger and my frustration out of the way yesterday. I kind of wish during the Gen V podcast, TJ brought this up so you could get a full fledged reaction from me because now this is almost like 12 hours later, a little over 12, 18 hours later. I've had some thoughts, a little more collected thoughts on the news from New York Comic Con from yesterday. Because even though technically New York Comic Con starts today, no, we are not there. A year ago today, AF and I were there in person with each other. It was great. And now this year, neither of us are there. Tis
Take
the
me
way
back.
the circle spins. The news out of New York Comic Con yesterday during the pro day, essentially, is that Marvel announced that in 2026, the Ultimate line of comics will be ending. Their best, their highest selling, their best reviewed books on the shelf will be ending in 2026. It's a stupid decision. I'll be honest. Like, look, it's dumb. For sure, they'll have something lined up afterwards. They have to. That's what I'm trying to come down to is by the time this ends, and who knows about this Age of Revelation, the Apocalypse X-Men event should be over by then too. They should have something up their sleeve for after Ultimate Endgame. What is it? I don't know. Ultimate Secret Wars? Are we doing that? Like, I
Ultimate
don't
Secret
know.
Wars.
But like, I'm just upset because I've been loving these Ultimate books, and we knew that like Hickman's entire story and idea with everything was ending. We knew that. But what like we didn't know was how they were going to continue it because a lot of people really enjoy the Ultimate Universe, really enjoy um oh, Angel. That's so nice. Getting back into comics. Well, welcome back. Well,
Amazing.
right now, comics are a little frustrating with Marvel right now, but we'll get to the good stuff in a little bit because Marvel did announce that they're ending my favorite line of comics, which is really upsetting. And I'm just bummed. Now, what are they going to do afterwards? I don't know. Are they going to completely kill the Ultimate Universe and maybe have like a Miles situation where a couple characters bounce their way over to the main line? Probably. Can I see Peter's son popping over as like a new Venom because Venom's been a mess? Probably. Can I see Maystorm coming over because I kind of teased that already in the Ultimate X books and in the Miles Ultimate Spider book that they've been putting out? Probably. Am I gonna be following it after that? As of right now, no. As of right now, no. I'll be honest. AF. I sent this to you yesterday. You just kind of laughed.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't understand. Like, you and TJ spoke about it last week on the show, and saying how far in front DC is right now
Yes.
compared to Marvel.
Mhm.
And Marvel's solution to that is ending the one thing that's actually been making sales for them and getting people to love the brand a bit more. So this one's a bit of a head scratcher for me. Like you said, they probably will be some of these characters from the Ultimate Universe that's going to be sticking around in mainline continuity. If you like, rather than the ones that you know will probably be sticking around, are there any picks from the Ultimate Universe that you want to stick around in the main line?
Charlie Hawkeye is pretty cool. I'd like to see them interact with Clint and Kate. In the mainline universe, I think that would be interesting. This version of Doom is fascinating, where it's Reed Richards' Doom. I think that's just cool, but I have a feeling that that story will be wrapped up in a bow very nicely by the end of this Ultimate Endgame thing. So we'll see. It totally depends on how everyone's story is going to wrap up by the end of this Endgame event thing. So we'll see. And it is funny. I was planning on almost like giving Marvel a new one today anyway, because they had 12 number ones come out this week, AF. If I counted that right, it's like 11 or 12 number ones between the a new mini series, I think, with Strange Tales. I don't think that's ongoing, and a bunch of one-offs from this Age of Revelation event that I just have seen zero hype about from Marvel. Like essentially pausing all their X books, doing this Age of Apocalypse 2.0 deal, and now we just have like one shots galore. Meanwhile, DC's over here, and we'll talk about in a little bit, doing their own event and having a couple one shots, but it's not crazy.
Do you think Marvel's trying to get everybody's focus on this Ultimate Endgame, like this final stage, the Ultimate Endgame? So rather just doing one-offs instead of getting people to read the normal lines of comics that they have been pushing out. So trying to get the full focus on this event coming up.
I think the strategy, and I'm seeing a little bit from DC too, because I was going through and looking at this DC KO event and how that's being rolled out, which is different than how Absolute Power happened. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Just number ones, man. I get it. They sell. We talk about this several times a year. Number ones sell, but it gets to a point where it's like, whoa, what are we doing? And I have a feeling like maybe they'll hit a reset button. Like there's a possibility like the Ultimate line of comics ends, but it's just kind of like restarted. So we just get Ultimate Universe number one again type of thing. Or like Ultimate Omega, because we do the Omega Alpha thing, even with Marvel, where it's like a fallout of it all. Number one issue, just because that sells. That's the type of stuff where I get frustrated. I know you get frustrated, and TJ also, especially, who's not here today, gets frustrated as well when it comes to all of it. So we'll see. I don't know what the plan is. To me, and I'll be honest, but the last thing I'll say on this is if what's next is not good, is not grabbing attention, and look, I'll stop yapping if what they have next blows me away, and I'll give them credit, but I need to see it, right? Because if what's next isn't good, isn't grabbing my attention with how people have reacted to this new line of X books, which has been mixed, look, I'm gonna need to possibly see some changes in creative over on that side. So
Yeah, just get Denise Camp just to
I can't have him
start
do
running.
everything. I
Yeah,
can't have him
let him
do
do it.
everything though, because I fear that's what happened with Jed. Jed just started doing everything. We enjoyed Jed McKay comics. I liked
Yeah,
his Avengers book. I love his Black Cat book. His Moon Knight's been great, but you can't have just like one writer who's a very good writer just do everything. You need a team,
true.
which is why I feel like DC has been killing it, where they brought over so many great writers. And look, Chip Zdarsky did come back to Marvel, and he is doing Captain America, and that's a good
Yeah,
get for him to come back because he's a great writer. We really enjoy him. But they brought over Kelly. They signed Tom Taylor to like a long-term contract. Him and Josh Williamson and Zack Snyder, like it's a team over there. It feels like it's like everything is cooking. You have Al
yeah.
Ewing doing things on both sides too. Like it feels like it's a big group effort of a bunch of great writers. And at Marvel, I do appreciate when they bring in newer writers to try out some smaller books. but it feels like Velcro, you know?
Yeah, I
Angel
get that.
says, yeah, Angel says, didn't pick up any Age of Revelation spinoffs because of just how overwhelming the tie-ins are. Yeah, I wish I had the number here. It's at least like 8, I feel like, just Age of Revelation
Damn.
tie-ins this week. It's crazy. There's so many, and they're unnecessary, most part. Like a Cloak and Dagger book, which is very clearly just trying to get some of the hype off of what Marvel Rivals was and made a 10 years into future book with those two characters where they're essentially in the same situation that they're in the game. So that's like almost like creatively just like not even creative at that point. It just feels like a marketing thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we'll see, Marvel. We'll see. This was a decision. I kept telling myself that there's no way they were going to end the Ultimate Universe. I kept saying there's no way. It makes too much money. There were, the feedback, the general feedback on most of the titles is very positive. I feel like Ultimate X-Men found its audience. Um, I really enjoy the Wolverine book. Ultimates is fantastic. Ultimate Spider-Man, one of the best reviewed, best-selling titles Marvel's had in quite a long time. I know fairly recently some people are simmering down on it, but it is like ending its run, so that makes sense. And it's just going away. So we'll see what Marvel has next, because DCKO stands for killing it offensively. I guess I don't know. That was terrible. So anyway, DC KO, brand new DC event. This is written by Scott Snyder with a storyboard help also from Joshua Williamson, artist Zermanico and Javi Fernandez, colorist Alejandro Sanchez, letter Hassan Usman Alao, and editors Marquise Draper and Paul Kaminsky. Before I get into that, Henny does bring up a point that I was also thinking about. Is it better to end on a good note or to stretch it out too long? I think that is a great rebuttal as well. I was thinking about that too, but for me, and I mentioned it before, the Ultimate titles are really the only Marvel thing I subscribe to. So you take that away, I have nothing left from Marvel to subscribe to. So whatever comes next has to be good.
Are you not in
Back
the
to
Black Cat, G. Willow Wilson stuff?
It's fine. I think it's fine. It's okay. Not my favorite interpretation of any like a gray character, like, anti-hero type of character, when it's like we're just gonna do the whole turn him into a hero for a little bit. But as G. Will Wilson, that's going to be a title I think I'll read in trade, and maybe I'll enjoy it when it's all said and done. But back to DCKO. DC's big event. We're really starting to see some absolute mainline crossover very, very much here. What's been going on, for those who do not know, is Darkseid, his energy, his being disappeared at the end of the last big event, which was Absolute Power, and it created the Absolute Universe. He's essentially God of the Absolute Universe. He is the Absolute Universe. Everything goes through his energy, through him. And now he is starting, his being, his energy is starting to finally creep into the mainline Earth Zero DC universe. After a year of not seeing him, they had to go rescue Booster Gold, who was trapped in the other universe, Time Trapper, who was this future version of Doomsday. It warned them about this a long time ago. Everyone ignored him, and it's time to come. So how do we beat this being who is just a particular type of energy? Well, essentially, we have a big showdown, a big fight to see who becomes the being of the energy in this universe to go one-on-one. And we have a big fight. Big fight. I won't go into spoilers just yet because there is a huge bracket buster already in the first round. Technically, the bracket hasn't even started.
It hasn't started, yeah.
Because one of the picks was Fool's Gold. That's all I'll say. One of the picks was Fool's Gold, so everyone may have to go back in and redo your brackets, potentially. Anyway, AF. Spoiler-free thoughts on DCKO. Number 1.
I think it was a great sort of a great first issue. I think that every time I turned the page to a new panel, to a new page, it was like, oh, okay. I didn't expect that to happen. That was pretty great. And yeah, it's left me wanting more. And by the end of it, I got myself guessing a lot. And I think that's what I wanted from this. I wanted myself to be confused at a lot of times. I wanted myself to keep on scratching my head because that's what the entire premise of this event was to me. Like, who's going to be, is there going to be any backstabbing? Is there going to be any red herrings? And I think that's what I've gotten thus far. And I've enjoyed it. I loved it.
So this isn't necessarily a spoiler if you have seen the bracket. There are villains in here. There are heroes in here. The villains did infiltrate this big tournament. I won't get into the details on how this tournament kind of is going on because it's very sci-fi. It's very DC craziness where you have like the heart of Apocalypse, which is a planet that Darkseid is from, kind of being like the core of the Earth right now. They just have to like go into it and infiltrate it, and that's where this fight takes place. DC stuff, big crazy superhero things. Do you have a favorite right now that isn't that potential fool's gold pick? Because I'm still feeling Lex Luthor should win this thing. I do not think Superman is going to win this thing. And that is also ignoring the last page that we will get to in a little bit.
I think Superman should win this thing, but he won't win it. I think Lex Luthor could win it, but he won't win it. My pick at the moment, or like I redid my bracket this morning, or not this morning, like earlier on when I read the issue, I redid my bracket, and currently my winner is Zatanna. And I think that's a pretty good pick on my end. What about you?
The way that this book was describing who should and will win this thing tells me it will not be a hero, because it needs to be someone, as they said, who has a will for conquest. That cannot be any of the big three. To me, that cannot be almost any hero that we've seen in the DCU. To me, that is like peak Lex Luthor.
Yeah, so can I get into spoilers yet, or are we not there yet?
Let's get into spoilers. So the main spoiler, for anyone who does not know, as we've been teasing, there is a Fool's Gold pick in here. The Fool's Gold pick on the bracket, skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. Read it first because it's a pretty cool reveal. Batman does not make it to the knockout stage. He gets killed by Joker, who is not on the playing field, and he is replaced by Joker on the stage. So I'm a little bummed in that regard, just because I'll say this. I was really hoping for a Jason Todd Damian fight, which I think it still happened, right? That's the first round?
Yeah.
Okay, that's still the first round.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for after that either Jason to take on Batman or Damon to take on Batman. But anyway, it looks like Joker is taking that place. So go on, AF. Now that we got the monkey off the back.
So the big thing is that Darkseid will be the winner of this tournament. He is going to be the winner. And the thing is that Darkseid is one of the people on the playing field. He's taking the form of one of the people, or his essence is taking the form of one of the people.
They didn't say that particular. They just said Darkseid infiltrated it. And then they zoom in on Booster Gold's eyes, who are Omega eyes. I feel like he is Booster Gold.
So I thought that at first, but then Lex Luthor as well. No beard. We've seen him for the entirety of the Superman run. He has a full beard in that run. He's finally showing up now, no beard. He's the way he's speaking as well. He's telling Clark to go save some cats in a tree or stuff like that. The last few issues that we've seen Lex Luthor, he's been more compassionate. He's been more of like the good person in essence, and this felt very much disassociated from the Lex Luthor that we've been seeing in the Superman mainline run. So that could be a good pick, but Satana is she's just like conquered by all of this magic, and I feel like that can go hand in hand with what Darkseid could try to sort of infiltrate as well. That's the only reason why I think Satana could be the winner here. And if it's Satana versus Clark in any round, Clark's weakness is magic for the most part, and if she has the backing of Darkseid, I think she gets one up on him. And yeah, that was just my logic for the whole thing. Let's hear your thoughts.
I had Clark losing not early in this. I have him losing to Power Girl in the second round. So actually, yeah, pretty early. So I have him losing the Power Girl in the second round. Thinking about how Superman focused this first issue was, maybe he'll go a little bit farther. I don't know. But they kind of emphasize the fact that this Superman, like Superman in general, doesn't like playing games. He doesn't like playing games where people have to lose, and he's gonna have to eat that. He's literally gonna have to bite that bullet. So we'll see. We will see. The next DCKO book, tie-in or main title, does not come out until late November. We have time to think about this. I thought this was going to be a thing where we're picking back up again next week. It is not. Late November is when DCKO resumes. So I assume there will be, probably in a couple weeks, brackets will reset. And we will do it all over again.
But I think there's another KO title coming out quite soon. Let me just try to see what
I
that
looked
is.
ahead.
So there is.
I looked ahead, and the next one I found that said DCKO. Oh,
Night Fight.
Titan. Technically, Titans is a tie-in, but it's not like it's what the Titans are doing is they're helping out Earth. So it really has not much to go with what's been going on. So go on.
On the 5th of November, we get DCKO Night Fight. So that is the Dark Knight is forced to take a different path in the tournament for the Heart of Apocalypse, one that has turned Gotham into a deadly arena where Batman must battle against the Batmen of the future. Okay. So it's sort of a side twist for Batman, who is essentially dead. So
yeah, there's a lot of tie-ins into the main series books. Superman has one, Justice League Unlimited has one, Flash has one, but those are just like proper tie-ins rather than what's going on in the arena itself. So there you go, DCKO. AF, what would you rate it?
I'm going for 4.5.
Okay.
Out of 5.
I'm a 4 out of 5 on this one. I'm a 4 out of 5 on this one. I thought it was solid. I was kind of expecting the tournament to start already, so that was a bit of a And we didn't even talk about it. The second to last page reveal, we see our trio in the Absolute Universe.
Mm-hmm.
We see Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from the Ultimate Universe all standing together, seemingly, possibly, in this arena too. Who knows?
That could be dope, though.
That would be a twist. That would be a twist. That would be a twist. Speaking of Absolute Batman, let's talk about a book featuring Absolute Batman. A bit, at least. Well, you see a lot of them. This is Absolute Batman number 13. Written by Scott Snyder, artist Nick Jagoda, colors Frank Martin, letter Clayton Cowles, and editors Katie Cooper, Andrew Marino, and Chris Conroy. This is a very heavy Bat-Cat issue. Very spicy, very steamy Bat-Cat issue between the two of them. And it's essentially leading up into the final showdown between Batman and Bane. We see what the Venom is doing to this Batman whenever he lets himself go a little too much. The Venom kicks in, and it ain't looking too good for him. I'll say that much. It ain't looking too good whenever he lets go a little too hard. Uh, AF, what did you make of this issue?
I think it was a really good sort of Selena Kyle Catwoman centric book, because she's essentially the MVP in this book for me. Like, she's on almost every single panel, and yeah, like you said, some steamy pages. They really wanted to put that out in there. I like the fact that there was a lot of Killer Croc in here as well. Um, so yeah, I enjoyed this one. I think it was a good one. It wasn't my favorite Absolute Batman, but there were a lot of sort of things that were filled in this issue. It was quite nice.
It's definitely a setup to a final issue of the arc of Abomination. I think what they have done to Bruce in this absolute universe that they, as in Scott Snyder in particular, is wild. Every time you keep thinking it's like this man cannot go through more. Oh, he goes through more with some Dark Soul level villains added on top of it. Spoiler as well, because we do get the first appearance of a DC favorite, leader of the Red Hood Gang, Nope, kidding. It's Harley Quinn. I think we were both probably expecting Jason Todd to be like the leader of it, and then out comes a shaved head woman, and she's like, "My name's Harley Quinn."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, spoiler!
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun."
The moment I saw
So
the face paint, I didn't even need to read the speech bubbles or anything like that.
exactly,
I was just like,
yeah,
oh, nope, that's Harley Quinn.
yes, it is leader of the Red Hood Gang, who we're playing the middle ground, good but does things in a bad way type of thing with this iteration of Harley. So solid issue. I love the art here from Nick Dragotta. I think it's wild how the scars on Bruce's back do resemble a bat, with the venom kind of popping off. I think that is really cool. Very on the nose, but really cool. I dug it. This was a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I think it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay.
Just more because the fact that, like, I think I enjoyed other Absolute Batman issues more than this one. But yeah, it was still a solid issue nonetheless.
Yep. Very cool book. Been digging it. Absolute Batman. This arc to me is my favorite out of the 2.5 arcs we've gotten from Absolute Batman. Calling the Mr. Freeze arc like a half arc because it was like 2 issues. But between the first one, the Freeze one, and this Abomination has been my favorite arc so far from Absolute Batman. Very, very much enjoying it. Sticking with DC, because we're just a DC show now, AF. Cheetah in Cheshire, Rob the Justice League. Number 3, who watches the Watchtower when there's a big, giant KO boxing ring event going down in the center of the core of the earth?
I'm so confused about when this takes place, because they acknowledge all of the other things that happened, like before with Amanda Waller and Absolute Power and all of those things. So they acknowledge all of those things happened, and the power bank that they're trying to steal from the Watchtower basically encompasses copies of all of the heroes' powers within the Justice League. So, and that all came in the aftermath of Absolute Power, when Amanda Waller tried to steal everybody's skill set. So I'm still trying to understand, like, where this is in the timeline, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this is probably my favorite DC series at the moment. It is so much fun, dude. It is so much fun.
Wow.
Greg Rucka he's nailing every single issue. Nicholas Scott, the line work in here is so amazing. The colors, like, stands out every single episode, every single issue, and the thing in here, like, it's all a bunch of like C-list villains, and Leon, who is basically just there because she's Cheshire's daughter. So now they're just trying to like find out how are they going to infiltrate the watchtower, because there's only two ways to get in. You can teleport in with the ID card that you get from the Justice League, or you can go to this other location and they basically pull you up into the watchtower. So both of those are out. So they need to find a way to get the ID card. But if they get the ID card is tied to the biometrics and the DNA of that Justice Leaguer.
Mhm.
So it only works for that person. So now they're trying to brainstorm and do all this mind mapping of how to like get in, and eventually they get a card, and they have all of these things of like now trying to like infiltrate Fetus Air, because Fetus Air was one of the people or one of the organizations who helped build the watchtower, so they can try to identify weaknesses in the blueprints of the watchtower by trying to get through that infiltration. So there's a lot of like, heist, like just normal plot points of like heist movies and stuff like that. But one of the best parts out of this is that that there's going to be some sort of betrayal at the end. But who was it going to be? And at the end of it all, it was Clarion the Witch Boy. The final page of this issue was him meeting up with whatever collection of Justice League Doom this is, or whatever opposite of Justice League Doom this is. It's Black Adam, Solomon Grundy. I can't. There were two other villains.
Well, you don't need anyone else. You have Solomon Grundy there. That's all you need.
So he's just basically telling them what this plan is. They're trying to get the power bank, and he's saying, "Okay, I can get all of this information for you. What's in it for me?" And that's how the issue finishes off. We also get a sort of solidification that Alia Racho, who is the daughter of Nissa Racho, Ra's al Ghul's granddaughter. So we get that sort of confirmation in here. Clarion sort of has a crush on her, so he tries flirting with her, and that doesn't go well. But yeah, fun issue. I would probably give it 4.5, maybe 5 out of 5.
Okay.
I'm going to be so sad once this run ends, because I think it's 5 or 6 issues long. But it's so much fun. It literally makes me giggle sometimes when I turn the page. I'm like, oh, this is really great. Greg Rucka, you've done amazingly well on this one.
I have an idea. It's not a good idea, but someone get a boom tube. There you go. That'll get you in. It'll get you in loud, but you'll be in. People will notice, but you'll be in.
It would be like the thing that I keep thinking about with this is that, okay, they finally find a way to get onto the Justice League Watchtower, and then they get there and it's like, oh, what is happening? What is all this Omega energy happening over here? What is happening with everybody like being the way that they are?
What's going on? That would be funny. So Cheetah in Cheshire, number 3 AF, gives a 4.5, maybe a 5. Last book of the week. This is from our friends at Boom Studios. Tini Howard, Jose Jaro, Walter Baiamonte on colors. This is called Mariane Heretic. This is about a heretic, shocker, who works for the church, essentially, to go out and kill witches. But what happens when she's just kind of tired of it, essentially? This is a fun book. It's a fun book. I really dig the art here from Jose. Story, it's fairly straightforward. I feel like it's nothing like I haven't necessarily seen before, but it's still fun. Again, you really feel for Mariane here. She is essentially a character who has her own little followers and a belief that essentially like they worship God's mother, right? Like, what if God was a woman type of thing? And the church is like, oh, how dare thee, you are a heretic. And now you must also infiltrate these witches, who witches are evil. And then they infiltrate the witches, and witches are like, we're like the same, girl. And she's like, yeah, we are like the same. So eventually you can start to see like a changing of the tides, a dagger being shifted and pointed 180 degrees in the other direction. Once again, art here, great. Colors pop, fun book. Tini Howard writes some decent humor in here, but you get a little bit of gore too because we're killing witches. Fun book. Good first issue.
Nice. Like, what do you, if you can compare this to somebody coming out from the cold, like, and you're trying to sell this book to somebody, and you know what their likes are, what their likes aren't, how would you sell this to them?
Do you agree that men suck? I agree. Here's a book, and you'll love it.
Nice. I guess I'm sold on that.
Yep. People in power with the, holding on to things that they shouldn't hold on to. Yeah. Point the dagger in the other direction, ma'am, because they're the bad guys. And she knew it the whole time, but she was just more doing it to keep her, ironically, the witches called it her coven alive, because it's a belief. So pretty fun book. Really enjoyed it. Recommend if any of what we said sells you on it.
What is your, did you give a rating for it?
Like a 3.54 out of 5.
Okay.
Light week next week. Thank goodness. I like light weeks. It's good for my wallet. I have 3 books next week. We got Absolute Flash, Hello Darkness from Boom Studios, and Nightwing 131. AF, what you got?
Light week for me as well. Lighter than yours. Absolute Flash number 8 for me, and Justice League Red number 3.
Oh, how has Justice League Red been?
It's been okay. It's, I think, like, sort of just covering some superheroes that you don't normally see much in the front line. So yeah, it's good that some of them get the spotlight for a bit.
Is it essentially like Red Tornado's crew doing their thing? Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because for those who have not been reading Justice League Unlimited, Red Tornado and Mr. Terrific are kind of like the brains behind Justice League right now. The two work together to decipher and figure out like which teams we need to send out to go solve whatever problems. I'm surprised. Is there a Terrifics book out like anytime now?
I don't
feel like there should be. If we have a Justice League Red with Red Tornado, I feel like we need to have a Mr. Terrific book out.
Yeah, I don't think that there's one out at the moment.
Maybe post DCKO for whatever reason. Oh, quick shout out also with DCKO, straight up acknowledging New 52 and how that kind of like fits in with like the actual like timeline of all like recanonizing it in a way. I thought was really, really, really fun on that part.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's our books for the week. A lot of DC. A lot of DC next week.
I think that like this whole DC vs Marvel thing is just going to keep on building as we get to the end of the year, because the events are sort of coming to this culmination at around about the same time. It's just about how the execution is going to happen at the end of it all. Like I think with that line about like the New 52 in DCKO, I definitely think we're getting a brand new universe being born out of whatever happens at the end of it all. I just hope that they do it in the right manner. Like, a lot of people didn't enjoy the New 52 for a lot of different reasons.
Which Nightwing had a hilarious comment right immediately after that. It's like, yeah, and then how did that bode out?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of DC needs to think about how they handle this, and it needs to be handled with a lot of care, in my opinion.
Do you think the end of DCKO will be the end of either universe?
I still think that we're going to get an absolute crisis eventually, and I think that will sort of culminate the entire, all of these events that it's been leading up to.
that'll be their ultimate endgame. So I
Yeah.
see that being like in a year or so time. I do
Yeah.
agree.
I
I would
think,
be, yeah,
yeah. So I think like DCKO is sort of a prelude to Absolute Crisis. In my mind, that's how
yeah,
it is.
yeah. I feel like Marvel could have used that
Hmm.
with the Ultimate Universe. It could have used a pre-thing before the big thing. Because it just feels like, oh, it's over already. Bam, the end.
But like who they had Jonathan Hickman, that Dennis Camp, that all of these like big hitters at the top of this like brain trust, and maybe they had their hands tied with what they were sort of penciled in with for the
I
next
don't
year
know.
and a bit. So they probably just needed to get this out the door as soon as they could, so that the rest of them could go on to what they needed to be doing. Whereas I think on DC side, Scott's been very vocal about how much like love and care he's put into all of these things that's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wants to see this out and give it enough time to breathe as much as it possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Also, in that way, we
Yeah.
can always look back and be like, "I wish we did a little something different here and there," but can't go back and change time unless if
True.
you're the Justice League, apparently, where we went back and are trying to prevent a giant dark side from just destroying everything. That'll do it for this issue. The Comic Corner, very light week this week. Thank goodness. We both needed that. You can find us right here every week at 10 a.m. Eastern. We have a really cool interview, hopefully, still lined up at the end of this month. Stay tuned for that announcement. It's exciting. It is exciting. Once again, my name is Damon. This is AF. Go out and support your local comic shop. Go to comicshoplocator.com to find nearest comic shop near you. Everyone, stay well, be safe, and above all else, go enjoy some things. Go pick up a comic book, read some flappies.